Hi everyone, Nicky here, Smurfy161. I'm hoping my camera's going to play ball because I've just tried to do my sort of crochet one, and it took me 3 times. That in the end the video just ended up being really short. So I'm here to do week 11 of my stash busting. I know I've brought a couple of new things, but if I carry on doing these weekly videos, then I'll make sure I use up supplies and stuff. So I apologise if I have to keep getting up and down to make sure I'm recording, and I'm really sorry, but the camera is just doing my head in. So I've got a few cards here to do. I'll do this one first because it's a man card. It's the only man's card I've got in this pile for this week. So this is the stamp from Lovely as a Tree, and I've just cut round and done the corners. And this was a grey ink, and then I've got some papers from Wild, I think it's called Wild at Heart, trim craft one, and just some card that was in one of my gift boxes. And yeah, so I just folded it in half, found some brownie paper, and I've sort of gone with a crafty grey coloured theme for this. I'm not going to be putting a message on it because I want to keep it you know, nice and clean and simple, as my own men's card stash is really low, so I need to top that up. I'm just going around the edge of this with a pro marker. You've seen me do this lots of times, so I'm sure you don't need to see me do this on camera, and it's easier to hold near me. And I'm using Pro Marker Ice Grey 4. So yes, I'm not a happy bunny. My camera's dying. It's you know, what I've been sorting the credit card out, and yet it looks like this might have to get bumped up the list even more, because it's just not playing ball, and I have to keep taking the battery out, and it's just a faff. Pain in the bum. Sorry, I'm being a bit rude, but yeah, pain in the bum it is. So I went to the doctor's yesterday. I did mention this on my... No, I didn't, because it was the third time I did it. So I didn't. Yeah, I've been to the doctor's, and then I just cut that roughly and did rounded corners on this. I'm going to go a bit up there. Yeah, so I went to the doctor's yesterday and to see my heart consultant. The appointment on that got changed so many times. It was just really annoying. So I'm going to be fed up of jumping up and down checking that stupid thing. It's got postponed several times, and we mentioned this to the GP, and he said with everything that's going on, it really does need to be pushed forward, because originally my heart doctor, he wanted to see me in 6 months, but with how they've kept mucking it about, it'll be 10 months, and that's just, you know, it's not... I know there's pressure for appointments and stuff. I know hospitals are really struggling, but you know, when somebody's health is starting to go down here, you have to push it forward. But so that's that man's one. And then I went through my paper, pattern paper stash, and cut out some circles with that circle die I think I showed last week. And I've just been going through my bits and just sort of getting some rough bits and playing with some stamps, because it's lovely having a selection of craft stuff, but it's just trying to remember it all. So I'm liking doing these weekly videos because it's making me think, oh, what shall I use next week and stuff. So so I've just got this doily, and I'm just going to wrap it round. I think I just got one. That's always the trouble with a doily, you're never sure how many layers you've got. So I'm just going to put a bit on each side of the circle. I love doilies because I cut them up, I colour them. Normally I would colour this, but I'm quite happy just to, yeah, so that's just going to go round like that. I'm sure I've got more than one. I have. Ah, knew I did. That was easier to pull off. Yeah, so with doilies, if you've not used them before, make sure you have just got the one layer. Anyway, so it could have been a bit embarrassing giving this card to somebody and it falls apart. So I'm just going to probably pop that up there and pop that off there. I'm sort of going off the edge a bit with this one. So I'm just going to have to check again. Yep, we're still recording. Woohoo! Sorry. At least cameras have come down a bit in price now. I'm not wanting... Sorry, you must think I'm a pain just going on about my camera. There's more important things going on, I know. Yeah, so I know it won't be this weekend because we've got stuff on, but I think if I'm depending on how things are, I might say to Mum as soon as she's got some... I mean, I see her quite a lot anyway because she's my... I've said before, she's my carer. And I think I'm going to use bone tape on that one. So I'll have to wait for a weekend where we're not doing other stuff and we can go. But because I want to, you know, feel the weight of the camera and stuff. But it's always the way. Things always go wrong all at the same time. You know, slowly dying and slowly replacing. I've been quite lucky because my lovely brother's done a few things from my home, and then I've got this paper clip and I was going to put that on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that flower onto there and then clip it on there, and then the person's got something they can take off and use something else. So I'm just going to colour this colour this flower. So I'm just going to find a purple because that's what I'm doing for this theme. Yep, still recording. It's keeping me fit, I suppose, getting up and down, but it's not helping the rest of me. Normally I would colour these in and put embossing powder on it, but as I'm not sure how, I suppose I could do, but I'm not, yeah, I just don't fancy doing it this time. I will add a little gem in the middle, obviously. So that paper clip I might have to dry, let it dry and then add it later. So, because I'm not sure what glue is going to be best. I have got a tacky glue, but it's wood to wood, so I'm not too sure how it's going to quite go. So that's just going to go on there. So I'm going to leave that card and stuff to one side, and obviously when it's all done I will show you that. Let's put the lid back on that because now my luck it will leak, which would not be funny. Inside this one I did this message and I was going to have it on the outside, but it didn't look quite right. So this is just like out of matte. Matted it onto some purple card and just had inside, because these ones are all going to be for my own use. A doily heart that I had in some Happy Mail. I think Julie sent this one to me. I should maybe make a little note of who's given what, but I'm not too bad at remembering. If I ever forget and you see it's something you've sent, then let me know in the comments and then I'll try and remember better for next time. Because it's not, you know, when you get Happy Mail, it's nice to try and remember who sent you one. I know Mike Deacon, he'll keep stuff in a little bag with the person's name, but I take things apart and put it where I've sorted that sort of thing. Yet again, been playing with my dies. This, in case, I never really thought about it much until somebody told me, but you don't have to use all the stamp on something, so just use part of it on a project. You know, it's that's just going to go in there. And then I've got another one of these chipboard flowers that I got from think indigo blue, and I'm just going to pop that down there because I just feel I want something on one of the edges. So yet again, just very simple cards, which is handy if you need to, you know, make them quickly. It doesn't have to be a load of backing paper and stuff. It's nice just to get a few bits out in that colour and do something a bit, not saying simple, but just I suppose clean and simple is probably a better word for it. So yeah, give that a go. If my camera does get cut off, then I promise I will show the finished cards like I did last week when it played up. That was really weird because it looked like it hadn't recorded at all, and yet when I put it into the laptop to upload, it had shown it had recorded. So it's really odd what is ever going on with this camera. It is odd. I don't know. So I'm just going to get my paper pad out again and colour that. I think this is a purpley one. Oh, that's a really dark purple, but I like it because obviously on wood it well, that is quite dark. Never mind. Never mind. I don't mind. So yeah, normally if I'm doing these flowers off camera, like I said, I put embossing powder on them, but I'm just not feeling it. It always sounds like I'm having a bad time with it, so it always sounds like all I do is come on and say, oh, I'm not well or something. But yeah, I'm just not quite right at the moment. It's just taking its toll to get over, but not a lot I can do about it. So get on with it, Nick. Stop moaning. It's alright, I'll tell myself off for you lot. And then I'm just going to pop that there. And as some glue's coming through, I am going to add a pearl. So I'm just making sure I haven't got glue on me because I've just noticed some on the craft mat. I mean, these are sticky anyway, but if they've got glue behind them, it's just a bit better. So I'm just going to clean that up because I really don't want to be putting my jumper in it. I mean, it's an old jumper, but I still don't want to be mucking it up just yet. Let's just give that a clean. So that's another little one done. Of course, because I keep using wet glue, I've got to put them in different piles. And oh, crumbs! What's going on there? I think this is for this one. I can't remember. Yes, it is. So this is an in England we call it A5. So it's A4 folded in half. Yeah, so I've just got some scrap bits of paper that I've just, like I said, I've just been going in my stash. A metal embellishment from the craft box. And just some little bits. I'm thinking I might put this message inside rather than outside, I think now. I'm just going to do that so I don't forget. It's quite nice having a message inside. And also with that, it says live life in full bloom, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, say, a birthday card or something. It could be just to say hello or a thank you or something. So I'm just going to pop that there. And this bit is a snippet, snip art that was also in one of my craft boxes. It had the side there, this side here was also on the other side, but I cut it off for another project. So that's snip art's really nice, and I expect that's why it's called snip art, because you can snip it apart and stuff like that. So it's good for doing that. So that I have, because I've roughly planned some of this out in my head. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of my hand. That's the only thing I do find with these snip arts. They're you're great fun trying to glue them down. So I'm sure you've all seen Jodie from Tonic Studio do this. You put the glue on the back of your hand and then do that. So pick some of this up, and I just want to be very careful with this because the snipper is very, very fragile. So if you do ever get anything like this, just be wary of how fragile it is. So I'm just cleaning that off my hand. Right, let's just check this. Yep. And then I just cut a bigger one, and that is going to sort of go over there. So I'm going to have to use foam tape for that to raise that up. I know people normally cut their foam tape, but I don't. I'm naughty. Sometimes I do, but I'm just, like I said, just not feeling it today. I'm just feeling a bit tired. So I think I'm going to try, not an early night for me, but I will try going to bed a bit earlier than I normally do. It's just a pain when your sleep pattern is all over the place. So I think that's going to go there. And then I had some paper that I sort of, like I said, with the stamp, you don't have to use the whole lot. You can cut things up. So I'm going to pop that probably there, quite like that. This I'm going to do flat. That is going to go there. And then I have this lovely, even though it's metal, it's ever so light, but this will probably be one that I do either put in Happy Mount, and I think I'm going to pop that there, but I want to pop some stuff in the middle, which is going to take a while to dry, but not sure what to glue that with. I probably need my hot glue gun for that. So I'm going to leave that like that, just to give you an idea, and then I will put some bits in there. And it probably won't get shown in this video completed, but it will get shown in a project share. So I apologise I can't finish that on camera. I should have thought about doing putting on the heat gun while I was doing this, but I think things have just gone a bit to pot today anyway, so that will look like that when it's done. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Just trying to think. Yeah, that's going to have to be another heat gun one. So it's not as many cards as I was hoping. Sorry, today really has gone out the window. So there's that one, that one. So just 3 cards this week. Sorry about how it's gone a bit to pot. Camera's getting low anyway, and I'm just going to call it a day on videos because I've just run, my mojo's run off. So take care, and hopefully week 12 will be a better week with my crafting. So see you soon. Bye.